Okay, I'm gonna do something unique. And this is interesting and bad too. With no explanation of how all existence come out to be, the people turn to the religion, mostly people to Christianity. But here's the problem. This book pretty much covers everything you can think of. Not in a real way, obviously, that contradicts science, but in a controlling aspect of your whole life. This is some of the things I found, such as words. The fool and the fool says there's no God or has something of that sort. With no explanation that we have of all existence. These are powerful verses. And this is what keeps people entrenched in beliefs. Other such words are um, people that become wise become fools, as well as some anti-science. The Bible is very anti-science. So, this is the way that people see that. And it's obviously not the real truth. The real truth is not religious based. The real truth is unknown, but it's not religious based. It's not based on any gods. We've gotten thus far. This we know. We know how the universe started, we just don't know how the laws got there. Doesn't mean it's any of the gods. It could be a total mind-blown explanation. And that's why, well, people say, well, if it's not God, how did everything come to be? Is God or aliens? Okay, aliens? Who created the aliens? See, there's a third option. Or it could be even more options than a third option. The fact is, you have to be honest with yourself and say, we don't know. That's the fact. You know? There's so many things out there. Some ways, such as holographic universe, that black hole, that the universe is information. You know? Um, put through, we don't know. I can't explain. I can't explain it. But the fact is, it's okay to say we don't know. The gods of any of the religions is the easiest answer. And it's not the real answer. It's just not. We've got to the point where we know the universe comes out of nothing. Okay, we can explain that. Okay, how the laws get there, we just don't know. We cannot say it's any of the gods. It's a very hard to explain how law came about. No question about it. So the believers, you know, say it's our God, but there's so many gods and so many religions, and not to mention they contradict each other. So the problem is, religions are not just a belief system. They made this book to control your whole life, to make it your whole life. But it's not the real thing. It's, you know, obviously it contradicts with science. Science is where the evidence is. So it cannot be any of the religions. These are guesses. Now, some people say, well, when you die, that you get rebooted into another universe or the Matrix. Okay, so people had visions of afterlife, reincarnation. That's not what science says. Science says maybe, if the universe is software encoding, maybe you go to another universe, or maybe it just ends. The fact is, we just don't know. It's not. And here's another problem. People that die, they see the afterlife, they see what they were indoctrinated. They see their gods. Or they see what makes them comfortable. You have people that see Santa Claus. Christians will see Jesus. Buddhists will see, well, not Buddhists. Hindus will see Vishnu. So it's done with the social conditioning. And here's a scenario. Say, like, if there was a choice, you die, you go to whatever heaven you believed in, what God. This, I thought, but this can't be possible, because if the Christian way says Jesus is the only way, then you have that heaven. If you get to pick your heaven, that means all the religions' heavens are void. Because each religion says, this is the way, this is the heaven, this is the God. You cannot pick. So there's no picking. There's no picking heavens, no picking hells. And there's more than one heavens, and there's different religions and different beliefs. So like I said, the truth is not religious based. It's based of the unknown, which we don't know yet. Whether that's a deist God, a God of no religions, but then you have to ask yourself, well, what makes that a God? Where did it come from? You know, that leaves more answers than questions. That's the problem with the God thing. You just can't have a God just appearing, if it's non-religious based, out of just nowhere. But what you could have perhaps is not necessarily a God, but maybe highly advanced, you know. But like I said, there's a third option. You know, not God, aliens, okay, Herculeans. There's another option. This could be a naturalistic option. You know, there could be, I'm not saying that there's no not a supernatural world, but maybe you have a natural world, but then maybe you have an advanced, I don't know, some kind of medical, physical, or natural world. But we can't conclude that. As far as we know, there's everything natural. We just can't conclude. The fact is, we have to be honest with ourselves and be honest and say, we don't know. And it's okay. The gods of the religions is the simplest answer, and it's not the real answer. It's none of those gods. Whether it's a deist God, that has to be yet to confirmed. But then I have to ask you, where did it come from? It just appeared out of the blue? Doesn't seem like that. And I mean, is it multiple deist gods? I mean, it's just too much information that we can't conclude. I mean, there's too many scenarios that we can say it's deist God, it's the universe is God. It doesn't, but we don't get nowhere. The only way, and I hate to say this, but it could be, we could be dying and never figure it out. That's the way it's gonna be, right? That's just the way it's gonna be. Or we will figure it out. Now, if it goes to new science and physics, and hey, we found it all, and it was naturalistic, cool. If there's something more than natural, we can't conclude it yet. I'm not saying there isn't, but we have to go with what we have. That's all we can go is what we have. So far, everything's natural. We cannot conclude anything metaphysical or supernatural yet. The universe is conscious is still yet to be determined. Until we get a definitive answer on that, that's only a hypothesis. The multiverse, getting a little more evidence, still a hypothesis. So it's complex stuff. It's super advanced science, you know, super advanced physics. It's not an easy answer. Like I said, we might die and never know, but that's okay. That's just the way the game rolls. That's just the way it is. And then again, we might figure it all out. I think we're kind of getting closer. At least think about it. I mean, we found out that the universe comes out of nothing with no creator. Okay, but how the laws get there? Right. We don't know yet. That's the thing. I mean, maybe there were some beings that can manipulate the universe, run software, code. Is that considered a god? Not really. It's just considered super advanced being that, has access, that can do things. So it might be uncomfortable forever, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Let's keep on finding the answer. If we can get to the point that we found out how the universe comes out of nothing, no creator needed still, we just don't know how the laws get there, just leave it at that. Leave it at that. And then we'll find out. Sean Carroll says it's possible we could find out where the laws come from, and it still could be naturalistic. We have ideas. There's still nothing metaphysical, still nothing supernatural. But I think what let's go back to the religions. I think what keeps the people of the religion is this. Well, this book has my life in it. It says what happens when I die. This book says this. This says book this. But it's false. And I think that's really the problem, and why religion is so powerful. The people that made this religion made it as a whole control system for your life, like a document for your life. But it's wrong. It's not the real answer. It really isn't. Being honest with you, it's not. None of the religions are the real answer. If it was, science where the evidence leads would have no conflict. It's just not the real answer, folks. So let's leave it at that. Where the laws come from, we don't know yet, and maybe we'll find out. Sean Carroll says that we can find out, and it will be through naturalistic means. I can't say more because this stuff is too complicated. It's gonna make my brain hurt. It's just too complex stuff, and I'll leave it at that. So I think we're getting closer, maybe farther too. But if we can get to the point where we know the universe requires no deity or supernatural invention from it to come from nothing, and if matter energies from naturalistic means, we're getting closer and closer, and just maybe we'll find out how the laws got there. There's Lawrence Krauss said the laws could be arbitrary because he said the laws come in when the universe comes in, and he says different universes can have different laws. So it's just like a toss of the dice, It's not specific for each universe, and that's where the thing of just randomness and non-randomness, with no supernatural intervention. I guess I conclude with that. And so, like I said, the real answer is nothing with any of the religions, nothing supernatural, nothing with angels, demons, and all kinds of crazy shit you gotta believe in and stuff. It's a different answer. That's based on science. We just don't know yet. Like I said, we might find it and we might not find the answer. That's just the way it's gonna be, whether we like it or not. And all I can say is nothing to fear. Just keep on pushing and see what we find.